Hi everybody, I hope that you're really well. Salut tout le monde, j'espère que vous allez bien. So, first things first, I've received lots of emails about the question of speaking in both languages when I explain things. Tout d'abord, j'ai reçu beaucoup d'emails à propos de parler en deux langues quand j'explique les choses. So, for the moment, it's about 60% in favor of me speaking in both languages. Pour le moment, c'est 60% en faveur de parler en français et en anglais aussi. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it doing that. Mais ce que je vais faire, je vais le commencer comme ça. But when I start the actual explanation, I'm going to just use English. Mais quand je commence l'explication même, je vais le faire simplement en anglais. That's just because the video would be so long otherwise. C'est simplement parce que la vidéo serait trop longue autrement, sinon. So, this is a video that is because everybody has got lots of written work for the Christmas holidays. C'est une vidéo parce que tout le monde a beaucoup de travail écrit, preuves écrites pendant les vacances de Noël. So I thought it would be a good idea to have a little look at accents. Je pensais que ça serait une bonne idée de regarder les accents that we put on words. Lovely. So there are two main problems with accents. Il y a deux problèmes principaux avec les accents. The first is that we need them to read a word correctly when we don't already know the word. Le premier, c'est que nous en avons besoin pour lire correctement, pour lire le mot correctement, quand on ne connaît pas le mot. Okay? The second is that when we're writing, we really do need these to get maximum marks. Le deuxième, c'est que nous en avons besoin quand on écrit pour avoir de bonnes notes. Okay? So I really want you to just listen to the systems that we're going to be talking about. Donc je veux que vous écoutiez les systèmes dont on va parler. So first of all, in this video, we're going to look at some of the E accents. Okay? Donc tout d'abord, avec cette vidéo, on va regarder les accents qu'on met sur la lettre E. Okay? On the letter E. So now comes the English part, because let's get into it, okay? So, first things first. The general wording you hear about accents in English. Now I'm tempted, maintenant j'ai envie de le faire en français. J'ai envie de le faire en français et en anglais aussi. The general wording that you hear about accents in French just bothers me. Yeah, it just annoys me. Because you hear open and closed, which is a kind of copy and paste from the French system. And you hear, aigu, grave, all this kind of business. And there's just this whole concept in classes, be they language classes for adults or, whatever, or is there an accent on this? Is there an accent on this? Okay? And I really want you to dispel that idea. So what I really want you to start thinking of is, okay, French you can't spell completely based on what you're saying. It's not, like Spanish or languages with an easier structure of writing, because there's loads of hidden consonants. And there's obviously sounds which can be written differently, but which create the same sound. So, for example, there's endless ways of saying A. Yeah, So, but the fact is, if you are saying a word a certain way that you already know how to say, then please use that as your guide for how you're going to, whether or not you're going to pop an accent on it. Equally, when you read a word with the accent, from the get-go, focus on the vowel, because that is what I say will help you remember the word. 90% of people I start working with, before they start using my method, they can spell the consonants of the word, but they're not sure, the P, Q, T, R, S, but they're not sure on the accent. And then the word just sits in this, place, okay? So, let's have a look at E. I can't sit still today, I don't know why. Been to the gym, very full of energy. So, let's look at E. So, your basic E without an accent is pronounced like you're really thick. And it's coming from here. If you remember the vibration video, it's coming from here. Okay? So I, je, J, I speak to you, je te. Yeah? The, le. Okay? So it's what's known as the schwa in English. It's the sound, okay? Or the ignorant teenager. But the fact is, I was a very ignorant teenager, so don't be offended by that. Actually, I wasn't, to be honest with you. I was a very odd teenager. So, but this doesn't mean that every single time in French that we see the letter E without an accent, that we're just going to pronounce it E. There are plenty of spelling systems in place where the E on its own, followed by, without an accent, followed by another letter, will give us the, an A sound. So we know already manger, like all the infinitives, ER, that pronunciation rule will give us A, okay? ES, yeah, tu es, you are, okay? ET, Luke A, Craig, Luke and, okay, we've got an and there, okay? So this doesn't mean every single time that you see an E, that you, without an accent, that you're going to pronounce it but, you start to recognise the sounds after it, the consonants after it, which would do that. Like I said, an R, an S, a T, kind of thing, and where they come in the word. So if you've got ER at the end of the word, you know it will be A, okay? So, but apart from that, there are times when obviously we're looking at the word, and if we've not got anything on it, then we will go towards the So for example, let me bring up a lovely list I prepared. Okay, so secretary. In English we go secre, okay? So in French, secret. So for example, that first E would have nothing on it, okay? So that's just a way of thinking. To look at, regarder, so say the word re, take the consonants away, that's a trick you need, I'm saying so I know there's no accent. So I don't go R-E with an accent, okay? No, just plain R-E. So the next method that is really useful to you is when it comes to accent is ask yourself with E, is to ask yourself two basic questions. Above the line and below the line, and short and long. So above the line and below the line is a system I basically use to establish whether it's an accented E or not. Before we look at which one, it's to work out if it's an accented E, or at least sounds like an accented E. I've already said there's systems where you would get that sound, ER, ES, etc. So, place your hands here, just go for me, Yeah, is below, is above. So I'm going to say some words, and I want you to think if the sound is above or below, okay? So we're not at the moment thinking what kind of accent above, we're thinking whether it's above or below. Do you see how long this video would have been if I'd have done it in French? Okay, so, but there will be more conversational French into English, English into French videos because I got a lot of feedback about the puppy one. So, word for you, cinéma, cinéma. I'm falsely pronouncing it so that you can hear it, cinéma. Am I going cinéma or cinéma? I'm above. Cinéma. Okay, I'm above. Okay. Secret. Secrétaire. Am I going secrétaire or secrétaire? I'm going above. École. École. Am I going école or école? I'm going above. Regardez. Am I going below or above? Down. So question one is generally answered by is it of, above or below? Okay. Above the line, below the line. Once you're above, now I don't find this open and closed thing that is taught in French about French accents to be particularly useful to beginner and intermediate learners. I just find it a bit complicated. One of the ways I try and teach is if you've got an accent which is the acute, aigu, which goes bottom left to top right, okay, I hope to God the screen does reverse like normal, otherwise this video is useless. If you have that shape, then you are making a shorter sound, okay? So, école, écouter, église, yeah, like a catch in the throat, okay? Where will this word appear, this letter appear? This letter will appear at the beginning of words where you've got this, this sound, okay? I cannot think that can I think of any words that begin? Let me just see if I can find any words that begin with an acute, that begin with a grave. Are there any? I can't find any. No, I can't think of any at the top of my head. I'm probably being really dumb, but the fact is, hang on, there's one I've just thought of. Yeah, era, air. No, there are a few. Yeah, no, there are, actually thinking about it. But the majority of words which are going to the majority of words which are going to the majority of words which are going to begin with an e are going to have the eh sound. Okay, so if you think about it, the shorter sound is going to come in first. Think of it like pum pum, quick punch, long punch, quick long. Okay, so if your e is a long e, it's going to be the grave, which is going down like this. So let's look at some examples. So when you say church, you say église. So I find it really useful to use the hands. Église, école, écoutez. Okay, it's fine. You're not saying écoutez, église, école. And one of the ways to check this is if you try saying it long and it sounds odd. I know you might go, yeah, Luke, I'm just learning, I can't tell at the moment, but I promise you will. If it's a word which is written with a short accent and you say it long, it will sound odd. So, for example, église sounds terribly wrong. If you had a word which, say, for example, had the long accent, so the grave, père, which, okay, you don't have to say ridiculously long, but if you said it longer, mon père. Okay, just imagine that you're sighing it with a personality. Mon père. That doesn't sound crazy. Yeah? Ma mère. Very. Oh, il est très sympa. He's very nice. Très has got a long E. Okay? So rather than thinking open and close, the open and close method basically says that the eh is a closed one and the air is an open one. Okay? Now you know I use open and close, soft, hard sound analysis quite a lot in my method, but I just don't like that one. I prefer short and long. So if you've got a longer sound, and it might be at speed, you don't even say it long at all, père, mère, whatever, it's just not a punch, it's not mère, père, okay, it's mère, père, okay? So that's the general rule. Here's some other rules. So if you start the word, this comes to your writing as well, if you start the word with it, it's more than likely going to have the E going that way at the beginning. There's plenty of words which start with an E at the beginning which don't have the accent on them, for example. One second. So yeah, to hope. Espérer, yeah, it's not espérer, it's just, yeah, there's no accent on the E. But écouter, for example, écarter, for example, to separate distance. So, next idea. If your word has a E sound at the end, okay, I'm fairly sure, thinking about it, I can't think of a single word in French which ends with an E, single E, letter E, with a grave on it. That will be the acute, that will be the stick up out the way you're going. So, la minorité, la majorité, la capacité, la quantité, la qualité, that will go that way. And often there will be patterns in English that you will see repeated. So T and a Y in English will become T and an acute in French. So minority, capacity, all of those I've just given you. La capacité, la minorité, okay? So that's another thing that happens with acute E's, okay? So anytime you come to write that word, write majorité, why have I got that E there? Okay, majorité, how am I creating that above sound? Okay? Now you might go la majorité, but you're not going to go la majorité, so it's not the long one, okay? But if you don't manage the short and the long definition, just think, okay, I get it, Lucas told me that if it comes at the end of the word, it more than likely will be the acute. Another little pattern, and obviously that goes with your reading, another little pattern which is useful to remember. If you have the grave, so we're looking at the longer sounds now, and I've already said you can work out which way round it is by going, okay, is it above or below, and then working out if it's short and long. Be mindful that the vowel changes on some words, some verbs, so it either doesn't have an accent and then it has an accent, or it changes accent. So let's have a little think. So if you had, for example, to prefer, okay,